Hey, what's up? Like, totally time for 90210.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the 90210 show. My name is Mark. With me, as always, is my girlfriend, Carol. How are you doing, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here. It is November 30th, 1996.
Yeah, how was everybody's Thanksgiving?
I hope you had a great turkey day and you ate lots of turkey.
I love Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving's the best. And today is one of the better days, too, because it's 2 days after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, the leftovers are still good.
Exactly. We're still eating leftovers. Leftovers might be even better than the dinner itself.
Right?
Because all your family's gone. And all that's left is the food. And the lions disappointing you is also gone. And
yeah,
it's
that's over.
It's just the food.
You can watch that in the rearview mirror now.
That's right. That's the best way to watch the Lions is the rearview mirror. Anyway, but it's been a good week here. But speaking of the rearview mirror, Dylan's buddies want him to put drugs in the rearview mirror because the title of this episode, as you figured out it was going to be, is Intervention.
Yep, it wastes no time.
No, not at all. Gets right to the point. Cindy comes right to his house and is like, Dylan, I've always had a special place in
Oh,
my heart.
jeez. No.
That's how she tries to get him.
Well, she says we want to put, everything in the past and, just work on our relationship. Like, Jim stayed home from work to talk to you. Like,
Mrs. Robinson starts playing in the background.
I don't understand how that lured him to their house.
I don't know either.
Because, he hates Jim.
Yes, he does. He likes Cindy, though.
Yeah,
He's
little.
always liked Cindy.
Okay. I guess. That's why they chose to send her.
Well, yeah, she was the best person to send.
And you know what's funny is the intervention happens. They get there and he realizes he's been tricked. Mm-hmm. And the whole cast is in this room, right?
Well, almost.
And I'm thinking to myself, how are they going to have anything else happening in the show? Mm-hmm. And then we see.
Yeah, Valerie's not there.
And neither is Claire.
And Claire's not there.
And they run into each other at the mall and talk about how they're not part of the gang yet.
Right. And that's pretty much it. It seems like... Yeah, that's it for the episode. See you guys.
I was like, what the fuck?
No, I mean, that's pretty much all they say. Valerie's walking around the store, and as you pointed out, it feels like she's going to start shoplifting.
Yeah.
But she doesn't. Instead, nothing happens.
Yeah.
They just run into each other and say, yeah, we're not part of the group yet.
It was kind of weird.
Yep, but that's it. And then we get to see Ray at his house, Ray Pruitt, the one that Donna's going out with.
Talking to his mom.
Yeah, we get to see Ray talking to his mom, and it's so weird because it's not like she's a gold digger. I mean, not really, but she says to him, it's just as easy to fall in love with a poor girl as it was a rich girl.
With a rich girl, it's a poor girl, yeah.
But she's smoking a cigarette, and she's like, oh, where does she live? Is it the north of Sunset? That's where all the rich people live. She seems like she's really into the rich people. It seems like she's really into society, or like she's one of those people that would watch Dynasty.
Maybe.
Or Falcon Crest.
She seems like a I can never say that word.
Caricature?
Yes, of a person, though. She doesn't seem like a real person.
No. Some scum from the valley.
And the whole time, she was never wearing real clothes. She was just, in a house dress.
Or a robe, right?
Yeah.
She was in a robe at first.
It was very odd.
He said something like, I don't care about his money. She's like, of course not. But still.
Yeah, and then he gets invited to dinner at Donna's family's house because her mother has tried to invite her other boyfriend that she broke up with. What the fuck was his name?
Oh, Griffin.
Yeah.
Griffin Stone. So his real name's Griffin Stone.
So Donna tells her, they broke up. And she's like, "Oh no, why?" Like she's just so upset. She like,
he's such a great guy.
yeah. And Donna's like, "Really?" Because he waited till the second date to try to get me in bed.
Oh yeah, and her mom looks like, I don't know about this.
So she tells her, "I'm dating a really nice guy now."
Yeah, but he's poor.
Well, she doesn't even say that, but like they're interrogating her, so it kind of comes out.
Well, she says, "Where's he from?" And she says, "Reseda," or whatever. She's like, "What?"
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing, though. He's a construction worker. Mm-hmm. Construction workers make decent money. It's not like
that's true.
He's on food stamps or something. I mean,
no. And Donna introduces him as a musician for some reason.
Yeah,
he's a musician and he writes great songs, Mom.
That's weird. Yeah. Like, are you embarrassed that he works with his hands? I wouldn't like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Because he's a musician, because he sang that The Worms Crawl In song to a bunch of kids. What songs is he writing?
Well, has he only played the guitar the one time?
Donna's such a... Yeah, he has. Donna's such an idiot. He probably sang "Oh, Donna" to her. She was like, "Oh, what a beautiful song you wrote. Oh, Donna."
So, I don't know. The dinner seemed like it went okay.
Well, I mean, so it's kind of seemed like it went okay to me too, but both of them seemed to think that her mom was being a bitch. And I mean, I guess she was, but I don't know, like she said stuff like, she was talking about the dinner and everything, and he's like, "Oh, it looks good," or whatever, and she's like, "Yeah, Lucille always makes the best." Whatever they were eating, I don't remember what it was.
Well, yeah, because they're being served by servants.
Oh, lamb, I think it was. And her husband looks at her like she said something wrong, or like she was being snide or something like that. But I didn't get that. I didn't understand.
Well, because he was trying to give her a compliment, and she was like, "Oh, I didn't do it."
Okay, I gotcha. Maybe. Yeah, it could be it. But the dad seemed like he liked him okay, I guess. He was trying to say nice things. Yeah. Like, "Hey, that's how our family started," and all this stuff.
Which, that makes sense. Her dad's more of a real person because he grew up like a normal person.
Did he?
Well, he said that's where our family started.
Oh, okay.
So I'm assuming that means they started.
I thought he just meant
not rich.
I thought he just meant going back. Going back generations.
Generations to Reseda?
Well, no, they didn't.
Or no, it wasn't Reseda. It was...
It had nothing to do with that.
But the oil, they were talking about oil money and
like
stuff.
Working on oil rigs or something like that. I don't know.
Okay, whatever.
He was saying that his family started with nothing, essentially.
That's what I thought he was saying.
But yes, that is what he was saying, but not necessarily his dad.
Okay.
Like, it could have been like his great-grandfather.
Right. Oh, well, but... Shut up.
You badly misinterpreted something in the show. Oh, well.
Moving on. I don't care. It's so... Oh, and Donna was like, first, before this happened, had been talking to her mom about Ray, right? Yeah. And then her mom walks out of the kitchen, and she looks over at the black maid in the corner, who's just looking at her, and she's like, "What? He's a nice guy." Like, I don't even understand what that was.
She's like, you better have him wear a tie."
Yeah.
I don't know what it was either.
It seemed like there was some kind of like unspoken communication happening. I don't know.
It seemed like they felt guilty that they had a bunch of black people working as servants in the background, so they were like, "Let's make sure one of them gets paid scale." So they're going to have a speaking role.
Oh my.
We have to have her say something.
I think she was the only servant that spoke, though. Yes, you're right.
She was. Huh. It's also more sinister when you think about the comments that her mom made about the black guy that Donna was thinking about dating. I don't like this whole situation at all.
Her mom is so crazy.
Absolutely.
So, Donna and Ray, talk after, and
we get a reappearance of the dog, Rocky, too.
Yeah, they're taking Rocky for a walk.
I guess the dog lives with her parents now?
Maybe she brought the dog with her to dinner?
I don't know. We don't see the dog around the apartment.
Huh. That's weird.
I remembered, too, what that dog was called, Pound Cake.
So freaking cute.
Yeah, you said that the first time, and then we couldn't remember what it was. Actually, I don't remember if we couldn't remember what it was on the show, or if that was in our real life that I was talking about.
I don't know, but when we get a dog in a year or two, I want to name it Pound Cake.
All right.
Okay.
We have to get it from the pound, though.
No, we don't have to.
That's what you said during the episode. You're like, it doesn't make sense if we don't get it from the episode or from the show.
Yes, get it from the episode.
We have to steal Rocky.
But yeah, so Donna and Ray are talking, and Ray said it doesn't really matter if her parents like him. All that matters is if she likes him, which in a normal person world, that's true.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as true in rich people world.
Well, I don't know if it's as true in Donna world because Donna puts so much faith into what her parents think.
Even though they're terrible people, at least her mother is.
Yeah, and her mom, cheated on her dad. I mean,
yeah,
it's a whole thing. Her mom's just terrible.
It's not good.
I wonder if that actress likes playing that character. Because they really make her an asshole.
But,
that's pretty much the run of Donna and Ray's storyline.
Yeah.
This episode so far.
So I think we should go back to the intervention.
Is that where you want to go, or do you want to go to Claire and David?
Okay.
Because that kind of fits in with... I mean, that's really the only other storyline.
No, it's not. Kelly and her mom.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. That's very minor, but yeah, okay.
And Valerie, but...
Valerie's ties in with Dylan, though. But anyway, yeah, so David and...
David and Claire. DC, as we call them. Okay, she is a really kinky super freak girl. First she's
a super freak.
Right.
She's a super freaker.
First she has the handcuffs.
Right.
Now she suggests they make a sex tape. And every time she wants to do something crazy and kinky, it turns bad.
Oh, yeah. She had Sex Lies and Videotape or whatever.
Right.
You've seen that movie.
I love that movie.
All right.
But yeah, she's like, oh, let me cheer you up. Do we have any blank tape? And he's like, what do you mean? She's like, you know what I mean.
I'll tape over this, whatever, Donna's sound test or whatever.
And she just pounces on him. She's so aggressive.
Yeah, so they have sex.
On tape.
Yeah, we don't see it, obviously. But we see the beginning of it. And then later, I don't know, it's several scenes later, David's like, hey, let's watch this tape.
Oh, I thought it was Claire who wanted to watch it.
No, he wanted to watch it.
Okay.
She was like, now? You want to watch it now?
It's like, why else did we make it?
Right, exactly. I think that's what I said. Why else would you make it if you're not going to watch it? So they go to find it, and guess what? Claire lost it.
It is gone.
Not there. And we find out very soon, as Donna goes to the dinner with Ray, that she has the tape. Because she wants to show her parents her sound test or whatever. And she thinks it's her sound test.
Yeah.
Or screen test or whatever it is.
So then she's like... At first she thinks it's that, but then how does she
It's like a horror movie. I mean, it's a really well constructed bit because we know what it is. It's suspense. It's like Hitchcock would always say that the difference between terror and suspense is terror is a bomb blows up in a diner, right? Suspense is showing the bomb ticking down underneath the table or whatever. It's knowing something the audience doesn't know, or the audience knowing something that the characters don't know, and we know what's on that tape and they don't. So it is pretty suspenseful.
Yeah, because they're about to watch it before dinner, but then Ray shows up and they're like, "Oh, we'll watch it later."
Right.
And then she goes home and finds out that Claire and David are looking for this tape. And she goes back to the parents to get the tape.
Right, and her dad's masturbating.
Yeah. Her mom's like, oh, no, we haven't had a chance to watch it yet. Mm. And then her dad walks in with the tape, and he's like...
Oh, you looking for this?
Yeah. She's like, did you watch it?
She's like, oh, I tried, but it was all just snow or whatever.
Yeah. And then when her mom walks out of the room, he's like, give my regards to David.
Right, and looks at him, and she's like, oh, thanks, Dad. I mean, it's not her fault.
Right.
She wasn't on the tape, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know why he would lie to his wife. But, what kind of a person is she that her husband can't even tell her about that? And it wasn't even involving their child.
What I want to know is, what kind of person is he that he watched that tape without them? Why Why was he like? They were all supposed to watch it together, and he was just like, "Oh, I'm just going to watch this."
Well, Donna left.
How selfish! But he could have watched it with his wife.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that's good that he didn't, but
I would have waited to watch it with you.
Well, thank you. Yes, I literally rolled my eyes. Could you hear it?
Anyway. But that's pretty much what happens with them.
And then Kelly gets a call from 17 magazine.
Well, her mom calls her and tells her that 17 magazine called.
And Kelly's like, tell him I'm not interested.
In what?
A photo shoot.
Okay, you have to explain people.
I'm sorry, I thought
17 magazine
they
calls.
want her to model.
They wanted her to subscribe.
Yeah, no, they want her to model, and they want her to be in a like recurring thing too. Like it's not
four different spreads.
Yeah,
it's like co-ed, whatever, the girls of summer. I don't know what it's called.
It was about college girls. Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever. Like at first she says no, and her mom talks her into it. I think it's kind of shitty because her mom knows how she feels about modeling, and that modeling, made her kind of have an eating disorder before.
Well, I thought it was more, at least the way Kelly frames it, it was more that it did bad things to her mom, and that it made her mom into like a drug addict and stuff like that. Like her mom started getting into the drug scene because she was modeling, and then Kelly did mention, trying to starve herself or whatever, and then overeating to feeling like she could never eat, and then overeating to like spite her mom or whatever.
Right.
But now it seems more like either that had a big effect on her, or it was more just her, the whole time. Because her mom's not saying you need to not eat.
No, nobody's telling her that.
Kelly just starts saying like, "Oh, I can't eat anymore now."
Nobody ever told her that she had to do that. I mean, that just comes from her self-esteem getting shot from being around that scene when she was younger.
Okay.
And now she's back and her self-esteem shot to begin with. And like, she thought her mom didn't want her in the shoot because she was too ugly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she's a little fucked up in the head about her looks.
Yeah, she is.
But yeah, now she won't eat anything. We already had her on diet pills before.
Brandon's just kind of like rolling his eyes when he should be like, this is a big red flag there, Kelly.
Yeah. Yeah, like they go out to the peach pit and she's like, I'll just have warm tea.
Mm-hmm. I'm not having a mega burger like everyone else.
Like, she has nothing to worry about. I think that's it, right? As far as other storylines.
She agrees to do it, and we plant the seeds that she's going to have an eating disorder.
Again.
Right. Yeah. They don't know much. They don't know what to do with this, with Kelly as a character. They really don't.
Yeah.
They have very little to do with her. She's either having sex with a boy or she's got an eating disorder. And that's pretty much it.
When she cut her hair, her whole personality changed.
Yeah. Her agency is under her hair.
Apparently. Because she used to be like fun-loving and kind of slutty. Mm-hmm. And now she's like an old school mom. Like she's just so like stick in the mud, looking down on everybody.
You're being a bad girl, though.
Right. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. And she's never with Brandon.
No.
She has, like, one scene where they're eating dinner together. Mm-hmm. Have they kissed in the last 5 episodes?
I don't know.
It's so weird. I don't think they've kissed this entire season.
It is weird. I don't think their relationship's going to last.
I think they hate each other in real life or something.
Maybe, but even if they do, that shouldn't affect how they do the show.
No, you wouldn't think so. But anyway, that is how they're doing it.
So, okay, so Dylan, back to Dylan and the whole intervention thing.
Mm-hmm. This is the main storyline.
Yeah.
Hence the title, Intervention.
He shows up at the Walshes, everybody's there, and they're all going around the room saying, the things that either he's done to hurt them or things they've seen him do that are upsetting.
What's funny, though, is, don't gloss over this, Carol. My cousin is the guest star here.
Okay, go for it.
Mackenzie Phillips. Mackenzie Phillips from One Day at a Time.
Yeah.
This is it. This is it. Someone at one point, somebody says take it one day at a time, and I was like, come on, how could you resist that pun?
Because they're in rehab, though. I mean, come on, that has nothing to do with her old filmography or whatever.
Well, Mackenzie Phillips famously had substance abuse issues, or still does, I don't know, but she suffered from substance abuse issues, and she's playing the substance abuse counselor, so
yeah, they
kudos, I guess. I don't know. It was almost like stunt casting.
But yeah, they got her to come to the intervention and get him into rehab. Which,
yeah, she's the professional running it.
I didn't even know that they do that.
And it's not Mackenzie. She's playing a character.
Well, yeah,
She's not Mackenzie Phillips.
Right. So it was.
You didn't know that who did what?
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 I didn't know that, there were people that would go to your house to do an intervention.
Yeah, they usually have some sort of counselor or something there.
Huh. Interesting.
That's the professional that runs the show.
Okay.
They tell you how to set it up and all that stuff, yeah.
So, I'm trying to think, Donna talks about how he put his boots up on the table. That's not that big of a fucking deal, Donna.
Yeah, if you guys remember at the charity event that he crashed, she was like, "Oh, everyone's going to remember you as a drunk."
And just like you mentioned last time, Brandon mentioned how he saved his life before, and so now he's trying to return the favor. Basically,
Brandon, that's the only reason I'm here. And David's like, "Remember when I talked to you out of hurting yourself or whatever when your dad died, and then you talked to me out of hurting myself, and you saved me with the meth and all that stuff."
Yep.
They've got some weird thing back and forth.
Yeah, it's so weird because they don't really seem like they're very good friends other than these major situations that occur.
They keep owing each other favors.
Yeah. But Dylan's all I'm not going to go. And then he goes off on this tirade where he talks himself into going to prove to them.
First of all, he's going to leave. And then Steve's like, yeah, why don't you leave, you fucker? I don't even want to fucking be here. I don't know how they convinced me to do this. I'm going to go. And he's like, Steve, don't leave. He's like, the whole thing with Valerie, I told her I didn't want you to get hurt, and I was against it. It was her fault. At one point he says it was her fault.
Right. And Steve's like, gee, thanks. It doesn't really matter what you fucking say when your dick's inside somebody,
right.
So...
Well, it does to the person who you're inside.
I guess.
But he says at one, he's like, if you stay, or I'll stay if you stay, or whatever. So they end up staying. It was so weird. And then, yeah, you're right. He ends up, they're like, oh, this is, Mackenzie Phillips says, you got to go to rehab. And he's like, I'm not fucking going to rehab. Fuck you guys. And he's like, you know what I think? I think you guys just want me to be high all the time because it makes your pathetic lives look better. You know what? I am going to rehab. It was so weird.
To screw them somehow.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah, he's pretty fucked up. And he was doing heroin.
No, he was doing
or coke at first, yeah.
He was doing cocaine.
And then what?
Cocaine.
The heroin thing, does that happen before or after the rehab thing?
Honey, the heroin thing just happens whenever you need it to. It happens after rehab.
Okay. So he goes to rehab and he spends the night and he does the thing that so very many people who go to rehab do. And in the morning decides, fuck this, and I want to check myself out. At the same time that Valerie shows up with dessert for him.
Yeah, I don't know. He was like, oh, I can't get drugs at rehab? Well, forget it. I thought this would be easy.
So he intercepts the dessert and Valerie and takes them both with him.
Yeah, I think it was some sort of cake or something that Steve got her, probably.
Right?
Knowing her pattern.
So they go back to his house and he immediately starts drinking. And she's kind of trying to talk to him about it, but
right.
He keeps challenging her, either be okay with it or get out. Be okay with it or get out.
Yep.
And I don't know, about the fourth or fifth time she gets out.
Yeah, eventually she's like, you know what, forget it. Because it's when he beeps his dealer.
Yeah.
And she's like, you just beeped your dealer. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, it's no good. Well, at that end, while he's waiting for the dealer to call back, he's pouring himself hard liquor. He switches from beer to the hard liquor. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So after she leaves him and he orders up the drugs, The next thing we see is he has nodded off in his convertible? No. Okay, what am I missing?
He goes and plays pool.
Oh, yeah.
He goes and plays pool, and he's, because he's got to buy from his dealer, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like, so what do you want? He's like, well, what do you got? And he's like, you ever chase the dragon? It's like one of these pampered Beverly Hills writers. They heard the phrase "chase the dragon" one time, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, well, let's write that in." Yeah. But I will give them credit that he opens up the heroin at one point, and they do get it right. It's not a lot of times people will just write it as white powder, and it's not. There are certain versions, but it's not usually white like that, like cocaine is. It's usually brownish, like a little darker, sallow almost, And they get it right. They get the coloring right. So good for them. Good for the heroin consistency on the show.
So yeah,
but they have him smoke it, which is a way you can do it. But I mean, just inhale, just snort it. Just snort it or boil it and inject it. I mean,
oh my God!
What?
First of all, why are we talking about all the different ways when one can do drugs? Like, are we doing?
No, I mean, don't do that, guys.
Like tutorial here. Second,
don't actually do heroin, but I mean, if you want to put opium in a hash pipe and smoke that, not going to say I have or haven't done that, but
smoking it is not as bad for you as snorting it, which is not as bad for you as shooting it.
What? Why do you think smoking it's not as bad as snorting it?
Because one thing is you're breathing it into your lungs and it's going to your body through your lungs. The other one is you're snorting it and it's getting into like your sinus cavities and being absorbed that way, which is much, much faster and worse.
So if you guys want to do heroin safely, guys, apparently smoke it, according to Carol.
I'm not saying that
That's
either.
That's the way to do it.
Anyway, Dylan.
Practice safe drugs, guys. Smoke your heroin.
Dylan's doing the heroin.
Right.
Dylan has nodded out in his car.
Oh, yeah. He's by the Hollywood sign or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he's parked above the Hollywood sign.
He's just nodded off.
And a police officer drives past him. Why the fuck they don't stop to check on him? I do not... Like, I thought for sure they were coming to check on him.
Is it because he's in a Porsche, or is it because it's just like North Hollywood and they're like, fuck, it's just another drug addict. Who gives a shit?
I don't know. But yeah, he gets freaked out by the fact they drove by, but they don't do anything. Mm-hmm. And he decides, I better start driving the other direction.
Which makes a lot of sense when you're, in
in
the throes of a heroin jag.
Yeah. High on the top of a mountain. Let me go driving.
Mm-hmm. That doesn't end well for him.
No. He goes off the fucking side of the cliff.
Yep. And who knows where. And he's in it. It's the funniest shot in the world because they show the footage of his car going down the cliff, and then they show a close-up of him in the car, like, screaming, and he looks like a Muppet.
It's almost like on par with when his dad blew up and his scream then. Like,
it's worse. It's literally like Kermit the Frog and Fozzie are in their car, and they're like, ah! Their arms are waving and stuff. He looks like one of those wavy, inflatable tube dudes.
Yes. It's bad.
It's terrible.
So I'll assume that after he gets out of the medical hospital, he'll go back to rehab.
Well, they kept telling him, they're like, you're going to end up dead, or you're going to end up in jail, or you're going to end up in the hospital.
Well, yeah, that's what they say. Jails, institutions, and death. That's the only way to go.
Oh, okay.
What?
Who says that?
The people,
jail, institution, or death. That's the only way to go.
People at the AA meetings and stuff.
Okay.
Like, that's like one of the sayings.
I thought that's what they said in like woodshop or something. Fuck college, jail, institute, or death.
Just like one day at a time. These are all like the catchphrases of the sober living community people.
This is life, the one you get.
Okay.
So go and have a ball. Is it weird that she ended up on a show called One Day at a Time? Because it's one of the sayings of, and she has, drug problems. Her father force-fed her drugs when she was a child.
Ew.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Oh, John Phillips.
Like Drew Barrymore.
Mamas and the Papas. And my dad claims we're related.
Why?
Because he's an idiot. There's no evidence we're related to them at all. Okay. I'm sure we're not related to them.
Sure. Anyways, I guess we'll see. I know. I don't imagine he's dead because I'm pretty sure he's still on the show.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's not dead.
I think we would have heard about it. Right. So.
But yeah, that's pretty much the episode, and not a ton happens.
We forgot about Valerie.
Very wrapped up with the intervention. What about Valerie?
Oh, we didn't forget about Valerie. Never mind.
We talked about her.
Sorry.
I do think it's funny that last week Valerie's like, he's fucking over there killing himself, and no one gives a shit. And then Brandon goes over because she says that. And then this episode, she comes back after being with him and lying about it again.
Yeah, for some stupid reason.
But comes back after being with him and says, you know what? Fuck him. If he's not going to get better, on his own, we can't force him. And I mean, she's right, but like, it's such a 180 from where she was last week.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You can only get hurt by somebody so much.
Yeah, and he reminds her of her dad, I'm sure.
Yeah,
with all the craziness and playing with guns and stuff.
Poor Valerie.
Yeah. I feel real bad for her.
All right. So you can write us at latefee1994@AOL.com.
Yeah, do that.
Check out our website, www.retrolatefee.com. And share the tapes with your friends.
All right. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.